Meeting is called to order.
Hello, everyone. A very good evening to all of you. Due to the non-availability of the secretary, I'm going to be conducting the event today. So I request President Rotarian Lal Goyal to please confirm the minutes of the last meeting.
The minutes of the previous meeting were circulated and we have not received any objection or observation. So I presume that everyone has confirmed. So I hereby confirm the minutes of the previous meeting.
Thank you very much. Also, as for the agenda for today, we have a talk on diet and exercise for healthy organs, which shall be presented to us by Rotarian Prashant Surana, who is the president of Rotary Club of Mumbai Royals. To give his brief introduction, I would request Dr. Santosh Kumar to please come forward.
Good evening, everybody, and it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Prashant Surana, Rotarian Prashant Surana. He is the president of the Rotary Club of Mumbai Royals. He is the distinguished pharmaceutical executive and published author. He has done BTech Pharmaceutical Science from Indian Institute of Technology, IIT BHU, Master of Business Administration and Executive Certificate from Harvard School of Public Health. He is the former managing director of Boiron India, spearheading the Indian operations of renowned French multinational pharmaceutical company. He is a renowned author and has published books on many subjects. One of the most popular books is Myths and Facts Around Diet and Exercise. He has another book is like Why Buddha Left Home, a scientific guide for self-awareness. This book helps you navigate your journey through scientific and logical resources. So without much ado, I hand over to invite Dr. Prashant Surana. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that generous introduction. So Lalji, shall we start?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So let me start the presentation right away.
Yes, please share, Mr. Surana.
It's in use. The file is in use already.
Any concern? Okay.
Yeah, it says the file is already in use. I have closed already.
You can maybe open it again and click on the share button.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right. Is it visible?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yeah. Right. So let's get started.
Yeah, please.
I expect it to take about 20-25 minutes in going through the slides, and then we can have questions.
Yes, please.
All right. Is that all right with you?
Yes, please.
Sure. Let's go ahead. You can see the full screen?
Yes, please.
Because I see it differently here. Anyways, let's just talk about some basic facts. Here, most of us think of bodies as a machine, but it's quite different from a machine, because in a machine, if you change one variable and other variables remain constant, you see an immediate change in the output, in the behavior of the machine. But that is not the same with the body. This body is not a machine. It has evolved through the process of survival and reproduction. And so the body tries to resist the change. But if you change one variable, body will change other variables to compensate for that change. So you don't see any immediate change. So that works both ways. When you do something positive, when you develop a positive habit, you don't see immediate positive change. So you think nothing has happened. And the same is true for negative habits. When you start a negative habit, you don't see anything negative happening, any negative impact immediately. So you continue with that negative habit. So that we must bear in mind that whatever changes we are going to bring into our lifestyle will not show you immediate results, because the body will try to compensate for whatever change you are bringing. When it comes to diet, most of us have this misconception that we should prefer light and low fat food. We should prefer food which is easy to digest. But this is not correct, because when you eat something which is easy to digest, it gets digested very fast and leads to a rapid rise in blood sugar. And when there is a rapid rise in blood sugar, what happens? I'll just show you with the help of a few graphs. As you can see, when you eat something easy to digest, your blood sugar rises very fast. Okay. And when it goes beyond a certain level, the body converts it into fat. Okay. So it's the blood sugar, which is getting converted to fat, not the fat that you are consuming. Most of us believe that whatever fat we eat, that gets deposited in the body as a fat. But that's not true, actually. Whatever you eat, body can convert it into sugar, because that's the fuel the body needs. And that sugar gets converted to fat when the blood sugar rises above a certain point. So when it is converted to fat, the blood sugar will go down again. And once it goes down a certain level, you start feeling hungry again. But if you're going to eat something like that, again, like what is easy to digest, like bread, boiled rice, boiled potatoes, boiled starches, again, the blood sugar will rise very fast. Again, some part of it will convert to fat. And again, it will drop very fast and you will feel hungry again. So when this cycle goes on repeating, with every cycle, some fat gets deposited in your body. And as a result, you gradually accumulate fat in your body and you become obese. Whereas on the other hand, when you eat something which is not very easy to digest, like stuff like paneer, dry fruits, milk, oils and fats, pulses even, they get digested slowly. So there is no rapid rise of blood sugar, and not necessarily that it will convert to fat. If the blood sugar remains below a certain level, it will be used by the body without getting converted to fat. So this is a very important concept that we all need to understand, that it is not the fat that you eat that converts to fat in your body. Anything that you eat, if it gets digested very fast, if the blood sugar rises very fast, it will get converted to fat. With diabetics, the only issue is that the blood sugar remains high. It cannot be used by the body, and that high blood sugar damages the organs. But with normal people, that high blood sugar will get converted to fat. And the fat will have other kinds of, so both, whether you are diabetic or non-diabetic, blood sugar is going to harm you in one way or the other. This graph shows the effect on blood glucose over time with different kinds of foods. You see, with carbohydrates, the blood sugar rises very fast, as you can see in the first bump. With proteins, a little bit slower. When with fats, it is the slowest, because fats get digested very slowly. So it's the carbohydrates which give you a rapid rise in blood sugar always. And that is what we consume most of the time. Most of our food is composed of carbohydrates, and that's the problem. You can see even with fruits, if you consume an apple versus you consume an equivalent amount of glucose, the rise in blood sugar is much slower with an apple than with the same amount of glucose. Reason? Because apple contains a lot of fibers, which slows down the absorption and digestion. And the sugar in apple is in the form of fructose. Now this fructose has to get converted to glucose in the liver. Fructose cannot be used by body directly. So that also takes time. So fruits do not lead to such a, although they are sweet, they do not cause a rapid rise in blood sugar. So fruits are fine. Another concept to understand is the activity level. This graph shows the blood sugar profile of two people who have eaten the same amount of fried rice for lunch at 12 p.m. One has the red dotted line is without any activity, and the green dotted line is when the person takes a 30-minute walk after having his lunch. So you can see the difference in blood sugar levels. A small amount of activity post lunch dinner can rapidly alter your blood sugar profile and prevent conversion to fat. Those people who take a lunch and go to sleep, or take a dinner and go to sleep, they give ample opportunity to the body to convert that extra blood sugar into fat. Another important concept to understand is that as we age, as our age increases, the metabolic rate of the body slowly goes down. As a result, we are converting more of the blood sugar into fat as we grow older. And that's why we go on accumulating fat as we grow old. With young people, their metabolic rate is very high. So they start feeling hungry very quickly after eating, after 1 hour, 2 hours, they're again hungry. You see teenagers, they are hungry all the time. But yet they do not accumulate fat because their metabolic rate is very high, and they convert all that sugar into, they can burn all that sugar without depositing as fat. So metabolism slows down, as you can see here. The solid line is for males and the dotted line is for females. How the metabolic rate goes down rapidly with age, as you can see. It's the most rapid decreases between the up to the 30 years of age, and after that also it continues to goes down. So as it goes down, you are converting more of your calories into fat, because if you want to maintain constant weight with increasing age, so either you have to reduce the calorie intake so that you have less of that blood sugar level, or the other option is that you increase your muscle mass. That is the only option, because as you increase your muscle mass, more of that glucose will be used by the body, and you will not have the opportunity to convert it into fat. So these are the only two options. Either you reduce your calorie intake or you increase your muscle mass if you want to maintain a constant weight as your age increases. Most of us also believe that fat is bad because it gets converted to cholesterol, or fat is equal to cholesterol, most of us believe, and that is a problem. That is not true actually, because cholesterol is a basic building block of the body. Body needs cholesterol as a raw material for many of these hormones and other things. What is the problem is the inflammation in the body. If there is inflammation in the body will use that cholesterol to build unwanted material like plaques in the blood vessels, which block the blood vessels. Exercise can lower inflammation. So the best defense against this inflammation and therefore the cardiovascular disease is exercise, and also having good fats which have a protective effect on the heart. So just not consuming fat is not an option. Another misconception is that dieting means fasting, that you go hungry and therefore by going hungry you will not gain weight. What happens is when you go hungry, as I said in the first slide itself, the body will try to compensate. So when you go hungry, the body tries to compensate, and it slows down your metabolic rate. It slows down your the rate at which your body is using energy. So when it slows down permanently, so your body becomes more prone to accumulating fat in the body. So do not unnecessarily let your body go hungry, because if you do, it will permanently try to compensate for that, and it will slow down the metabolism to maintain the fat level. So you will accumulate more fat instead of losing fat. Another of our myths is that when we see an obese person, we think that that person is careless, and therefore he has become obese. He doesn't take care of his diet or her diet. So we resort to body shaming and all those things. But actually, it is a genetic burden, because it is a function of frame size. You can measure frame size through your wrist circumference. When you see people with bigger frames have a bigger digestive system, so they digest food very fast. And when they digest very fast, their blood sugar rises very fast, and a lot of that gets converted to fat. And again, they feel hungry very quickly. So when they feel hungry very frequently, they eat frequently, and frequently that extra sugar gets deposited as fat, and that is why people become obese. So it is a genetic issue, and they have to, people with larger frames can prevent that by having more muscle mass, therefore, so that their muscles will take care of that extra glucose. Another misconception people have, that you can lose weight by doing exercise alone, which is also wrong, because our body is very efficient. As I said already, it will try to compensate. If you exercise in the morning, the rest of the day, the body will try to compensate by lowering your metabolic rate. you will be burning less calories in the rest of the day. It will slow you down. You will feel like resting more, eating more, sleeping more. So it will try to compensate for that. So exercise alone will not lead to weight loss. You have to have lower calorie intake. You have to reduce your calorie intake along with the exercise if you want to lose weight. But exercise, you must not for losing weight, but other health benefits that come with exercise, which is less inflammation, better strength, better posture, stronger bones, less risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, cancer, dementia, depression. All these risks are reduced when you exercise. So you should exercise for that reason, not for losing weight. Losing weight is a process which cannot be done without consuming less calories. Some people also think that, okay, then if your muscle mass is the only important thing, then cardio is not important. Okay, we can do without cardio. We'll just increase the muscle mass, do strength training, go to the gym, but which is again not true, because it is cardiorespiratory fitness is very important for preventing all the chronic diseases like CVD, diabetes, cancer, etc. It improves circulation, it reduces inflammation, and it has positive psychological effects. So the ideal strategy is to do both. Ideally on alternate days, one day you do a cardio, one day you can do weights, and get the best of both the worlds. Some people also do, a lot of youngsters I've seen, what they do is they are dieting and at the same time going to the gym to build muscles. So they will only consume some protein and just exercise, and they will think that they can lose weight and build muscles at the both same time, which is not possible, because your body can either be in an anabolic state or in a catabolic state. So either it can build up or it can break down. It cannot do both at the same time. When it builds up, it will build muscle, fat, all kinds of tissue. When it breaks down, it will break down all kinds of tissues. So both cannot happen at the same time. If you want to build muscles, you have to eat properly, build muscles. And then after that, once your muscles are built, then you can reduce your calorie intake so that it will muscles, and your lower calorie intake will take care of your fat. But you cannot do both at the same time. You cannot build muscles while dieting. Another, I've seen a lot of people in Mumbai, in a hot city like Mumbai, going for a morning walk with a jacket on. They think that they will lose weight by sweating a lot. If they sweat more, they will lose more weight, which is again a misconception. Sweating is not equal to dieting, or sweating is not equal to losing weight. Sweating can in fact lead to dehydration, and it will reduce your exercise efficiency. Whatever weight loss you see with sweating is only water loss. It will be compensated very soon. So that is another issue with that. So do not equate good exercise with sweating. Sweating is not a desirable thing. Another misconception is that if you do certain exercises, you can reduce your belly, or do certain kind of exercise, certain kind of particular what you say is crunches or something like that. It will reduce your belly fat, which is not possible, because muscle building is a mechanical process. If you exercise a certain muscle, the muscle will become stronger. But burning fat is a chemical process. So you cannot burn fat from a particular spot in the body. When you burn fat all over the body, because when certain hormones are released in the body, that leads to fat burning. You cannot burn fat from a particular spot. So when you combine diet and exercise both, the overall body shape will improve. But do not try to exercise so as to reduce fat from a particular part of the body. Another misconception people have is that exercise will damage the joints. In reality, exercise strengthens joints. It is sports that damages the joints, because in sports there are a lot of jerky and sudden movements. But if you are exercising, your muscles become stronger, and stronger muscles protect your joints. Your joints will get less of strain, less of jerks if your muscles are stronger. So exercise like yoga and other such exercises can increase your muscle strength, and they can protect your joints rather than damaging your joints. Another very popular misconception with particularly the young generation is that fit body means you should have six packs. Now let me tell you, six packs is a very extreme condition, which happens only when you have less than 20% fat in your body. So to achieve this extreme condition, all these bodybuilders and all these actors have to go to extreme lengths to achieve that. They have to go extreme dieting, extreme exercise to achieve. It's not a natural thing to have. So it is only going to damage your body in the long run if you try to achieve that. For normal people like us, it is not advisable. And if you are working with your brains, then your brain needs to have adequate supply of glucose in the blood, and that is not at all conducive to having very low fat in the body. So this is an ideal which should not be pursued unless your career demands it. Like if you are an actor or a bodybuilder, it's not for intellectuals, and it is no way translates into a fit body. Not necessary for a fit body. Another thing, well, I see a lot of youngsters, they spend 2-3 hours in the gym hoping to build their body quickly. It is not a linear relationship. You cannot achieve more by exercising more. There is a diminishing return. So you have to limit your exercise to 1 hour per day and 3 hours per week. If you do more than that, you are actually damaging the body because you are not allowing the body to heal itself after you exercise. You should not follow the routines followed by professional athletes or bodybuilders because they are made of different genes and they have a different kind of lifestyle, different kind of diets, different kind of training regimen. So you can't just copy something you see in the social media what a pro athlete is doing and you start doing the same thing. Another thing, I see a lot of gyms have opened up all around us, and I see a lot of gym trainers making women do the same exercise that they're asking men to do. Now, women and men are equal, of course, but they are not identical. Their bodies are different, and they need different kinds of exercise. Men have hormones which makes it easy for them to put on muscles, but women don't have those hormones. So the same exercise does not work for them. Women need different kinds of exercises. Men need different kind of exercises. So otherwise, the women are going to damage their bodies or simply they will get disheartened with the exercise regimen and give it up. So in my book, it's given in more details. I cannot get into too much details at this time. Another popular refrain that I hear from people is that yoga is slow and boring. Well, I would say that even the same is true for education, but we still need education.
Just hold on, please.
Yeah, thank you. So this is a wrong perception. It is a wrong perception that fast action or fast exercise leads to a more effective exercise. Yoga is a very unique method where it combines contraction of one set of muscles with stretching of opposite set. So when you contract muscles, it strengthens the muscles and bones, and stretching the muscles has an anti-inflammatory effect. So yoga combines a strengthening effect with an anti-inflammatory effect, which is very beneficial for your joint mobility, for your blood circulation, for your posture, for your overall health. So do not take yoga lightly just because it appears to be slow. Even if it's slow, it definitely has its benefits. A lot of advice is given by these gym trainers to consume this supplement, that supplement, and or young people particularly, they follow that advice blindly, which can be very dangerous because many of these supplements or etc. can have damaging effects on your kidney, etc. So whatever the supplement is being suggested to you, please do a thorough research. You will find all the information on the internet. What are the pros and cons of that supplement, whether you actually need it or not, what can happen to you if you consume more of it, and then only go for it. If you want protein, only whey protein is the thing which can be safely taken by everyone. Whey protein is one supplement, and otherwise the best protein is from whole foods like nuts. Nuts have plenty of good fat as well as good protein, and they are safe for everyone. The world is divided into two parts. One part says that we should take multivitamin every day. The another part says that multivitamin are useless. Now, I don't belong to any of these two extreme camps. I would say that multivitamin may be required, but you don't have to take them every day because you are eating your regular food. If you are otherwise healthy, you don't need them every day. You can take a multivitamin once a week, maybe, to tide over certain deficiency which may be there in your diet, right? Vitamin D levels are particularly important because most of us don't get enough sunlight these days. So you must get your vitamin D level checked, and you must take a vitamin D supplement if it is lower. That is one important thing I must mention. Another thing, a lot of people, they try to avoid sugar. As I said, people think sugar is going to lead to increase in weight. So they opt for sugar substitute. Large number of sugar substitutes are available these days, like aspartame, saccharin, sucralose, stevia, etc. But recently, WHO has come out with guidelines that all of these are toxic in the long run. All of these. So the better strategy is to gradually reduce your sugar intake rather than completely replacing sugar with these kind of substitutes, right? And most important thing, we don't realize that it's not just sugar. Anything that can be digested very fast by the body is equivalent to sugar because it's going to convert very fast to sugar. Like bread, biscuits, cakes, boiled rice, boiled potato, any other easily digestible starches, they are all equivalent to sugar. And I must mention particularly about the boiling of starchy substances. When you boil a starchy substance, it is not simple boiling. The water is actually having a chemical reaction with the starch and breaking down the starch into easily digestible components. So any starch that is boiled is almost equivalent to sugar. And it is an irony that in Indian cuisine, boiled potato is like a part of every second delicacy, whether it's vada pav or samosa or your pav bhaji, anything that you can think of, it has a boiled potato. And boiled potato is equivalent to sugar. Similarly, bread is equivalent to sugar. They get digested very fast and lead to a rapid rise in blood sugar. Boiled rice. Idli, we think idli is very safe. Idli is very considered very healthy food. But idli is again steamed, boiled starch. It gets digested very fast and leads to rapid rise in blood sugar. We think that South Indian food is very healthy, but actually because of this reason, because their food like boiled rice or this idlis and all, these things get digested very fast. And as a result, you can see official data also shows that the extent of obesity is very high in South India compared to North India, although their food is simpler than ours. So this is an irony because they all consume a lot of these boiled starches, and which leads to a rapid rise in blood sugar, which all converts to fat. If at all you want to avoid, it's okay to take half a spoon sugar in your tea or coffee, but it's better to avoid all these things I've listed here because they are equivalent to sugar. Another trend I see these days that people mix fruit and vegetable juices and think that it will become more healthy, and they consume it as a mixed juice. This is dangerous because you should not mix fruits and vegetable juices. Fruits are high in citric acid. Many vegetables like spinach, beetroot are high in oxalate. When citric acid combines with oxalate, the oxalate absorption increases manifold in the body. And high oxalate levels in the blood can lead to kidney stones. So a lot of people are ending up with kidney stones because of consumption of these kind of mixed juices. So please don't consume a mixed juice. Don't combine fruits and vegetables. And particularly with juices, what happens is whatever we consume gets absorbed very fast in the body because it's already in a solution form. When you consume the vegetable or fruit, it's not digested very fast. But when it's a juice, it gets absorbed very fast. Karela juice is very popular. A lot of diabetic people consume Karela juice. But I think most of us, you don't know that Karela juice is damaging to the kidney. And diabetes is itself damaging the kidney. And on top of that, if you consume Karela juice,
Just hold on, please. Just hold on.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. So Karela juice should not be consumed in large quantities every day because it can damage the kidneys over long run. Detox is another very something that is trending these days. A lot of people think that doing this kind of detox is very healthy, but actually it doesn't work. There is no such thing as detox. Or liver and kidney are already doing that job very well if they are working well, and if they are not working well, you need to see a doctor. But detox will not do anything for you. In fact, a lot of these detox which are popular on social media can actually lead to disturbance in natural mineral balance, and they can cause dehydration. You don't need these kind of detoxes. Fried food is another bugbear. Everybody says fried food is bad. Yes, to the extent that it has a large number of calories, to that extent it is okay, but not all the time, and not every fried food is bad. If you are frying something from an animal source or using a fat from animal source for frying, then because when you heat a food from animal source, it leads to development of a lot of carcinogens. So that can be a problem. Otherwise, frying itself is not a problem. Like if you're frying meat and eggs and cheese, or you are frying in ghee or butter, then all these from animal sources can develop a lot of toxic products. But otherwise, if you are frying vegetables, seeds, nuts, grains, and if you consume them occasionally in moderation, there is no problem. Frying itself is not bad. Another popular thing is gluten. A lot of food companies are advertising their products gluten-free, as if gluten is some kind of toxin. Gluten is not a toxin. Gluten is the protein component of wheat, which is naturally present, and it's actually a good thing because we need that protein in our diet. So if your ancestry is from North India or in Western Asia or Europe, your ancestors have always consumed wheat in their food, so you cannot have gluten allergy. Only those people who have an allergy to gluten, which mostly people are those who are from rice eating cultures like South India or Southeast Asia, they may have this kind of allergy. It is unlikely that any North Indian will have allergy to gluten. So gluten is not a problem. It's a good thing. It's a protein which you need. It's not something that is giving rise to allergy. Only those who are allergic, they need to take care of. Vegan diet is another very popular thing these days. People turn vegan like a fashion statement, and we are vegan. Vegan is great if the only option is that you have to eat red meat, otherwise not. Because going completely without food from animal source can lead to a lot of deficiencies. Because if you rely entirely on vegetable sources, there are a lot of nutrients which you don't get from vegetables, particularly like vitamin B12, vitamin D, calcium, omega-3 fatty acids, proteins, zinc. These are all mainly coming from animal sources. So going completely without animal source like milk and all is not advisable. Vegan is not a great strategy. It is an extreme kind of diet, I would say, not an ideal diet. Another thing I see on social media is alkaline water or food is good for health, etc., etc. Well, that is just a fad because whatever you eat goes to your stomach. In the stomach, the acid in the stomach is going to convert it into acidic food anyway. Whatever alkaline thing you are consuming, it will not matter because the food doesn't go to your kidneys or lungs directly. Everything passes through the stomach, and stomach is acidic. It has to digest, so it doesn't matter whatever these claims are being made as not correct. Benefits possibly could be because there are some additional minerals in these alkaline waters or in alkaline foods like calcium, potassium, magnesium, but that you get from other sources also. So it's not a big deal actually. So that was what I wanted to share in this meeting with you. There are a lot of myths about food and exercise. And the reason I thought of writing that book was that because I could see all around social media, particularly on social media, a lot of things are being advertised, being recommended by lay people, not by these gym trainers. Nowadays, everybody is going to gym, and these gym trainers are not a very educated lot. They hear something from somebody or see something on social media, start recommending to you, and we think they are experts because they are gym trainers. They are not. So we need to be very careful when it comes to diet and exercise because this is something that affects us every day. It affects our health. It affects our longevity, and must take care of this. Thank you very much for attending this session. I would throw it open for questions.
Thank you very much, Rotarian Prashant, for giving your views. Can you just close the PPT?
I will. I will do that.
Yeah.
So,
Stop sharing the option. Oh, yeah, here it is.
yeah, yes. Thank you very much, Rotarian Prashant, for giving and enlightening us about the myths and the facts about the diet as well as for exercise. But because, as you know, that we are Rotary Club of Organ Donation International, we always link everything with our organs because we feel if the organs are healthy, then the body will be healthy and the persons can work more or can live more. Now, you have mentioned about 2-3 things which I would like to clarify before I will open for others. You are mentioning about the boiled rice. Now, the boiled rice terms are used generally in South India, especially in Karnataka. They have a typical rice, and they say that this is one of the healthiest rice, not the basmati rice or other rice. So, are you terming the same rice thing, or you are mentioning the rice which is boiled?
No, all the rice which is boiled, because I think you are mentioning parboiled rice, which is consumed in South, which is already partially boiled, and then it becomes easier to cook. I am talking about all the rice, all varieties of rice, because you consume rice after boiling only.
Yes.
And rice is 99% starch.
Okay.
Okay. So when you boil rice, you are consuming boiled starch actually.
Okay, fine.
Whatever the variety of rice it may be.
Secondly, you mentioned about the diet, about the fasting, about that no one should keep themselves hungry. That is also harmful. So what are your views about intermittent diet?
Yes,
Fasting.
that is very good question, because there are a lot of noise about intermittent fasting on social media.
Yeah.
See, intermittent fasting is good if you can reduce your overall calorie intake. So, because if you consume your dinner by 7:30, and so after that, if you don't consume anything, it gives ample time for your body to manage its blood sugar. And when you go to sleep, your food has already been digested. So during sleep, that extra blood sugar will not be converted to fat. You will not consume extra midnight snacks. And also, if your overall calorie intake is lower, and thereby you are having a more disciplined eating, then this intermittent fasting is good. But if your overall calorie intake doesn't go down, so then it is not going to have that beneficial effect. So definitely intermittent fasting works. Yes.
Okay. One more thing is a keto, which is nowadays very popular in the young generation. Keto diet.
Right.
That is a high protein diet.
High protein, high fat, and low
Yeah.
carbohydrates.
Yes.
Yes. So see, what happens is that a lot of people use keto diets to lose weight very quickly, so that when you consume only protein and fat, your blood sugar remains low all the time, and that so there is no fat deposition. Your body only uses that fat for its energy needs, calorie needs. So, but the problem is that it is not natural for your body. It is not natural for your digestive system. It is not natural for your body. We need 60% of our diet as carbohydrates, and remaining 40% as protein and fat. If this balance is changed, it is not natural for the body. So people start having other kinds of problems if they are on keto diet for the long term. So idea is to reduce your portion size. The best strategy is whatever you are eating, eat 30% less. Whatever you eat normally, just start consuming 30% less in quantity, and your problems will be taken care of. You don't have to go to any extreme for losing weight.
Okay. So according to you, the diet and the exercise affects our body. It also affects our organs.
Of course,
Can you just tell us that which diet is affecting which organs, or what are the healthy things to eat to keep our heart or our kidneys or our liver healthy?
See, during the presentation, I already mentioned certain things which you should not do, like combining juices of fruits and vegetables, which can damage the kidneys and other such organs. And what we should do, how exercises protects your heart, that I already mentioned. How liver is important to manage your blood sugar. So when you have an overall healthy diet and exercise strategy, it is healthy for the entire body. So all your organs are healthy, because all the organs of the body, all the organ systems of the body are interconnected, right? If there is a problem with your mind, it will affect other organs. If there is a problem with your heart, other organs will not receive adequate oxygen and blood supply. If there is a problem with your liver, it will not detoxify the blood, and your other organs get affected. If your kidney is not working properly, the toxins are not removed from the blood, and all the other organs are getting affected. So our body is, everything is interconnected. It's not like each organ is working as a separate compartment. Everything is interconnected. So when you have an overall healthy lifestyle, healthy strategy, it will affect all the organ health. You will be overall healthy, means all your organs are healthy. If you are even if one system of the body becomes unhealthy, it will affect all the organs.
Okay. And you have mentioned about that the walking should be done after the lunch or dinner. What about morning walk?
No, that is, walking anytime is fine. Morning walk is also fine. What I was trying to stress upon was that activity can dramatically change the way blood sugar levels behave in the body. So what I was trying to say is that if you go to sleep after eating, immediately after eating, if you take a lunch and go to sleep, your blood sugar level will be much higher, and more of that will be converted to fat. If you take a late dinner and then immediately go to sleep, more of that calories will be converted to fat. Instead, if you have an early dinner, say 7:38, and go for a small 30-minute walk, your blood sugar level will be much managed, and less of it or none of it will be converted to fat. So in that context, I was saying walk anytime is great, and morning walk is definitely great for your cardiovascular health. You must take it.
Okay, thank you very much. Now I am opening it to all the members. Yes, I think the Rotarian Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran has raised the hand. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Prashant Surana, Dr. Surana, for
No,
a
I'm not a
beautiful.
doctor.
He is not a doctor, he's a writer, author, and was the MD also, the managing director of a pharmaceutical company.
So it was a beautiful presentation packed with very useful practical knowledge. I learned a lot. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, the first request is, can you allow us to have access to your PowerPoint today, or is it proprietary? And if you can allow us to have the PowerPoint, we will be very grateful, because so much of it I could not remember, could not take the screenshots, somehow I've taken. And
Sure.
I want you to allow me to use that knowledge, please.
I will definitely share the PowerPoint, but PowerPoint
Thank
has
you.
only bullet points. It will be advisable to read the book, because then you will get detailed information that you can use.
I promise you, I'll order the copy of the book.
I will share the PowerPoint definitely.
I'll definitely go through your book. That is a promise. At the earliest opportunity, I will buy, and I'll be happy to do it. Now, the question here I have is, some of the things which you said are compatible to what my father as a doctor used to say in his later part of the career. But some of the things you say are, contrary to that one. For example, my father was very fond of saying, in his time, lunch was called dinner, and night food was called supper. So he used to say that after dinner, sleep a while, after supper, walk a mile.
Right. That was conventional wisdom, which has been said for eons, for centuries. That is conventional wisdom.
Yes.
But modern research does not support this conventional wisdom. So we have a lot of conventional wisdom which modern research doesn't support. So we should be ready to change our views when research shows something contrary to our views.
So I'm thankful to you, because I realized my father passed his medical degree in 1938.
Right.
So obviously it falls in the category of conventional, and modern science has done it. Connected to this one is another question which I have. Internet today is full of misleading so-called pseudoscience videos and materials. How can you as expert guide us to select the true knowledge from the fake knowledge? Is there a guideline? How can we find what will, protect me from the ill science, bad science, not bad for me? For example, the rice thing which you mentioned, today people are saying that if it is not naked carbohydrate, then it does not hurt you as much. Though they say you cook the rice today, put it in the refrigerator for 24 hours, then consume it with fat, it is no more naked and it is retarded. Is this true?
See, to some extent, what happens is when you heat a starch and cool it again, it becomes little bit harder to digest. Little bit. It doesn't become 100% non-starch or non-carbohydrate. For example, in case of potato, if you boil it, it is hydrolysis. It reacts with water and becomes very easy to digest. On the contrary, if you bake a potato and cool it and then consume it, of course you can't. After baking, you have to cool it to consume it. So the starch becomes more difficult to digest. So baked potato is very healthy. Boiled potato is very unhealthy. That's the contrast. So, but what you are saying on this, if you boil the rice, then it is already hydrolyzed. Then even if you refrigerate it, hydrolysis is not going to be reversed. So that doesn't work. Okay, so once you have boiled the rice or any starchy substance, it is already hydrolyzed. So cooling it again will not matter. It is the same thing. Yes, when you add fat to a carbohydrate, the carbohydrate's absorption will be slowed down a little bit, but it doesn't become 100% healthy at all. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
In fact, a better strategy will be to add a lot of fiber, like a lot of vegetables. When you consume rice or some stuff, if you add a lot of fiber to it, fiber will slow down the absorption. So that we already do. Like in Indian cuisine, we add a lot of vegetables to everything we eat, and that includes a lot of fiber, and it slows down the absorption.
So which are the rich sources of fiber in our food, common food, daily food?
All vegetables.
So you mean to say, Rotarian Prashant, that we should eat vegetable pulao or biryani? That is better than the rice?
Yeah, having rice alone, of course, having rice with vegetables, with pulses that we already in Indian cuisine is already quite balanced in that way.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Rotarian Hemlata Bhandari has. You just come down. Your face is not being seen properly. Yes, just adjust the camera accordingly.
Okay, sir.
No, we can't see your face fully. It's a cut. Now it's fine. Yes, please ask your question.
Yes, please.
It was a wonderful presentation, Prashant. Actually,
you.
you told that exercise damages the joints.
No, not exercise.
No, exercise, some exercise, sports, not exercise.
Not exercise.
Sports you told. So I want to know about the gymnastics, no? They do lot of things.
Yes.
It will damage the joints for them?
No, gymnastics is not sports. Gymnastics is an exercise, which you do in a controlled manner. It's not sports. The problem with sports is that you have a lopsided movement, like you use only one hand and you have jerky movements, you know, you have to suddenly jump, suddenly do this, that. So sports has jerky movements, unpredictable movements, and sports can damage the joints, but not gymnastics is a kind of exercise which you do in a controlled manner and with a lot of training. So gymnastics doesn't damage the joints, it actually improves the joints.
Actually, what do you advise that, before exercises, what do you advise us to do? Before doing the exercise or after or in between? Anything food to eat like that you're advising us?
See, the problem
before
with Indian
exercise.
With the problem with Indian food, especially vegetarian food,
some
is that
people they say you should not eat more like that before exercise. Even during dancing, they're telling don't eat more.
See, when you eat, your body needs a lot of blood supply to your stomach and intestine to digest the food. So it reduces the blood supply to other parts of the body like muscles and all. So if you're going to do anything physical intensive work like dancing or anything such thing or exercise, then you should be on an empty stomach so that all your blood supply is available to your muscles. If you eat, then yes, a part of it will go to your stomach. So that is right. So you should have an empty stomach if you're going to exercise or dance or something like that. And in addition, what I would like to mention is that your Indian vegetarian food is very low on protein. It is low protein. There is no protein. So if you are exercising and if you are vegetarian, you must add a protein supplement to your diet. Like you must consume plenty of curd and milk, and ideally you should add a supplement like whey protein every time you go to the gym. At least whenever you go to the gym, if you are exercising your muscles, you must consume one protein supplement if you are vegetarian.
But that is also with the advice of a medical practitioner. Or
whey protein you can consume, not a problem.
But what about children?
Children also. Whey protein comes from milk. Actually, it's a part of milk, so it is quite safe. Anything else, I would say you must consume with medical advice. But whey protein is something which can be safely consumed. If you don't have a kidney or liver problem, you can safely consume. Not a problem.
Okay, thank you very much.
You also told that spot fat reduction, no, it doesn't happen. Can you just explain that, please?
See, if you go to the gym and tell the trainer that I have a lot of belly, so what to do? He will say, okay, do crunches. Lie down and do crunches or do this particular exercise to reduce your body fat or do this kind of thing to slim your waist. That doesn't work. You can't reduce fat from a particular part of the body. What it will do is it will strengthen the muscles, but it will not reduce fat. Fat reduction happens when you reduce your calorie intake, increase your calorie consumption by increasing your muscle mass. Then body will consume more calories than your body will burn more calories than you are consuming, and it will start using the fat. And that is how the fat will go down. It will not go down by doing one particular exercise. That I do like this means this fat will go down. It will not happen. Okay. Fat burning is a chemical process.
Okay. So one small thing, sir. Actually, you told exercise is equal to sweating. Not really, you told. That means we can do the exercise in the AC room or fan, putting fan like that. Is it okay?
It's absolutely okay. All the gyms are air conditioned nowadays.
Okay,
not a problem. No.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. I think Rotarian Dr. Lakshmi Goyal wants to ask a question. Please switch on your video. Rotarian Dr. Lakshmi Goyal. Yes, please ask.
Hi. Hello.
Yes, Rotarian Dr. Lakshmi Goyal, you ask the question.
Hello. Thank you so much for your presentation. I have a couple of questions. One is about a protein source. So whey protein, somehow I'm not able to digest it very well. So I've switched to collagen protein. What are your thoughts on collagen protein? And my second question is about exercise. So is there a specific time in the day that you recommend? And as you age, should you change the type of exercise? So there's the weight training form of exercises. There's a more movement-based exercises, cardio stuff. There's the stretching, mobility, yoga type stuff. So I realize that the body needs everything, but is there like
Yes.
a more or less of something you should do as you age?
So first question is about whey protein versus collagen. So what happens when you consume whey protein?
I'm just not able to, I don't know, I'm not able to digest it very well.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've tried different brands, I've tried different,
All right.
Flavored, unflavored, everything, but somehow, so I'm
Okay.
trying to have at least one protein shake a day.
Sure.
I've tried pea protein and I'm not
Yeah.
very fond of that either. So
Okay.
yeah. So are there like
So
specific?
that's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever source of protein suits your body, suits your digestive tract, it's fine, because some people do have problems with particular kinds of protein. So it's all right. Collagen also is fine if it is from a good company and reputed manufacturer. It's fine. Any kind of protein source is fine as long as it's coming from a natural source and is manufactured well with quality controls and all. So that is not an issue. Your second question was about the type of exercise as we age. Now, see, we need both cardio and strength training, weights training. Our body needs it. We need flexibility also, joints, yoga, etc. So all three are required. And I would say that as we age, maybe the body can, if you have already done it during your youth, maybe you can reduce little bit of weights training and do more of cardio. But I would say that you can actually, instead of changing the proportion, you can just change. You can focus on one exercise on a particular day. That is the best strategy. So one day you do strength training, one day you do cardio, and once a week you do something like yoga or stretching, so that you get the best of all these methods. And this can continue even as you age. There is no need to change the proportion of these exercises. What you need to do is being as you age, a little bit more careful about lifting heavy weights or doing very strenuous exercises, which are whatever you do progressively load the body, progressively increase the difficulty level. That is all we need to take care of as we age. Youngsters can be more can take more risk and they can heal their body faster. But as we age, the healing capacity goes down. So that's the only thing we have to take care of. Other than that, I would say there is no issue with exercising.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Lakshmi. Now, Advocate Asit Shankar, you would like to ask the question? Please unmute.
Sir, already you have elaborately asked all the related questions which were in my mind, and other audience also clarifies. So
I would like.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Advocate, Rotarian Advocate Asit Shankar. Now, Rotarian Ritika Gupta.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your presentation, Rotarian Prashant Surana. And I think it was very, very highly myth busting. To be honest, I myself was like in awe of how much did I think wrong. And I've also ordered your book right away. Just when your presentation ended, there was just one of it in the stock, and I bought it right away.
Thank you.
I'm waiting to go through it. So you were talking about how you should not just go overboard with when your trainers are pushing you. So how is it that one knows that this is my cutoff? Because they try to push you thinking that you have the capability for more. But how is it that one can themselves decide that this is how much I should be doing, and beyond this is going to be detrimental for my health?
It's very simple. As soon as you start feeling slightest pain, if there is pain, even the slightest pain, stop there.
Okay.
That means you have reached your limit. It's very simple. Do
Okay,
not push yourself beyond pain. and tell it clearly to the trainer also, no, I will not do beyond this.
And also it's like, when you work out, there's like this lingering pain that is there in the
Yes.
body when you work
Right.
out. So
Yes.
is that the pain that you're talking about, or
No,
the
no.
discomfort that happens?
At the time of exercise, during the movement, if you are feeling any pain, you should not do it. But the
Okay.
pain that you feel 24 hours later, 48 hours later, after
Till
exercising,
48 hours later.
so during this time the pain that you feel, it's a good pain. That means
Okay.
your body is trying to repair after the effect of exercise. That's a good
Okay.
pain. That shows that your exercise has been effective. Okay, to get over that pain quickly, you have to allow the body to have enough resources to repair the body, and that's why you need protein and all that. So if you are
Okay.
consuming enough protein, all that soreness, it's called soreness actually, muscle soreness, which you get after exercise, it will go away very fast. And you should not repeat the same exercise until
Yes,
that soreness is gone away. So if you have exercised a particular muscle and the soreness is there, then you should exercise other muscles on the next day, not the same muscle, until the
right,
soreness
right.
is gone.
That
Because
was my
the
next question.
body is trying to repair that muscle. That's why the soreness is there.
Okay. Okay. And aside of that, I also wanted to ask you, so there was this little thing that I was experimenting because, I'm just sharing for myself. So I've noticed a thing that every 3-4 years, there's like this extra 3-4 kgs that I gain that are very difficult to shed. So I think it's got to do with the BMR. So I
Yes.
was thinking for myself that, I wanted to kind of break that cycle and like reverse those 3-4 kgs, even though I was 3-4 years up. Is it possible, or by the like the um f calorie deficit? Is it possible? Is it healthy
Yes.
to do, or
It is only through calorie deficit that you will get over it, because as you age, your BMR goes down. So you
Right.
have to reduce your calorie intake.
Correct.
And reduce the calorie intake, reduce empty calories like carbohydrates. Don't reduce your protein and fat.
Right. So carbs, another thing that I have been kind of experimenting with while I am in complete disbelief right now, because I have started to go on a rice and, pulses kind of a diet, avoiding rotis, avoiding breads as such.
Avoiding breads is fine, because breads get digested very fast, because bread is already half digested.
Yeah,
through the
no, I
process
mean
of fermentation.
rotis. I mean the
No,
Indian.
rotis are better than rice, because rotis have protein. Rotis are digested more slowly than rice, and
Right.
rotis also have
Insulin spike is
only
lesser.
80% carbohydrate, whereas rice is 98% carbohydrate.
Okay, so
So
going on
roti is
a
definitely
route.
better than rice. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
If you
you.
want to, if you are trying to still not able to lose weight, all you have to do is reduce the portion size. So whatever you are
Yeah.
consuming 20% less. That's all.
Correct. Got it.
Thank
Thank
you
you very much.
Rotarian Ritika Gupta. I think Rotarian Dr. Santosh Kumar wants to ask some question.
So mine is just general understanding, which you always wonder why, like people in South India and Orissa, they eat, Kerala particularly, they eat a lot of rice, and still most of them are able to have the same lean and thin kind of body style, body
Really?
shape. Those in
I have
the
not seen. I don't see many lean people there. I see a lot of fat women in these parts of the country. I don't know where you have
So
seen
it has
lean
nothing to
people.
do with that, right? Anyway, I also got your book right now, and I am on Amazon. I think the stock was not a limited thing, so I hope that I get it and read it. And your interaction was really, really very useful and
Thank you.
Insightful.
Thank you. So what I was saying, that these people, they consume a lot of rice, lot of steamed appams and idlis, and which are all very easy to digest. So when the blood sugar goes very high, it gets converted to fat, and you quickly become hungry again, because the blood sugar is removed. So these people
So again,
on these kind of diets, they do have a problem with obesity, as you can see in the
so
South.
again, they generally what we prefer to do in breakfast, especially if I'm traveling, I used to take the idlis, assuming that is very light and all that. Do you still recommend that, or?
No, I won't recommend that. I don't recommend any boiled starch. Any boiled starch is digested
So
very
according
fast.
to you, Rotarian Prashant, we should have parathas.
Yeah, I would say have paratha.
Stuffed parathas with paneer and gobi and all.
Yes, correct.
Then
that's the better breakfast any day.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Rotarian, Dr. Santosh Kumar. I think Rotarian Dr. Rohan Monis, because he belongs to South, And I'm sure that he would like to ask, and being a doctor, medical doctor, he would like to ask the questions. And yes.
Good evening, Surana ji.
Hi, sir.
So it's a very vivid and very beautiful presentation. So I mostly agree with most of the things what you just said. So with respect to idlis, what happens is in the south of India, they use even pulses for the idlis, and they use something to ferment it.
Yes.
So how the origins happen is fermented food, they say, is good for the gut also, because
Yes.
you have curd, which is good for the gut, and you have pulses, so
Correct.
some amount of dal is also there, and some
Right.
amount of this boiled whatever starch, or it's that half broken rice, they do that. And it is like idlis and dosas are one of the commonest, fastest,
Correct.
darshini kind of foods
That's right.
available. It becomes easily palatable. So one more thing about breaking fat, I mean, which Rotarian Ritika was talking about. If you have more muscle in the body, or if you end up building up healthy muscle, you can end up burning more fat.
Right.
This is
Absolutely.
a direct correlation, so
Correct.
which will help many of the people, because as we are aging gracefully, we understand that we've got this belly fat or tricep fat and all, which is hanging around, which looks pretty ugly when you want to dress up. So this is the one challenge which we have faced, yes.
Correct.
But what happens, like you said, cardio and strength training alternate days is the best way to have a consistency in the life, working out 5 days a week beautifully, very well. So one more thing which I've learned is, I just want to add, they say that whenever you're invited for a party or a buffet, they say that, so you have a gourmet of things kept on the palette over there. So you start with vegetables, you start with your salads.
Right.
So you load yourself with salads initially, and then you
Correct.
go into your animal protein or whatever, and then in the end you have your sweet dish. So
Correct.
they have done the study about the glycemic index going up. They said that if you have a first overlay of salads and then you have your carbs, it has not seen a glycemic peak. It is
Correct.
actually
Because
slowly
the
waned down.
fiber in the salad will slow down the digestion.
Exactly, sir. So then, I mean, you can have the best of all the worlds, in
Correct.
such kind of circumstances wherein
Correct.
people have difficulty in like not having rice or whatever. So, but hats off to you. It's a beautiful thing, sir. In terms of
Thank you.
awareness, I think this presentation, which is going live and which will go live, will actually change a lot of lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
so
much,
much for appreciation.
Rotarian doctor.
And what you
One
mentioned
more-
about fermentation, the problem with fermentation is that fermentation breaks down the carbohydrates further. So
Yes.
fermentation breaks down the carbohydrate, means it becomes even more easy to digest.
Easy to
All
digest.
fermented foods like bread, like idli, or whatever is fermented, or
Sir.
cakes, they all become very easy to digest, and the carbohydrates are easily available to the body. So the blood sugar rises very fast with fermented foods. So they are good for the gut, but at the same time, they are also very easy to digest. So it has to be, both things have to be balanced but it's better to consume curd if you looking
Yes.
at gut health.
I agree with you.
Then fermented carbohydrates.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Monish. Now, Rotarian Sunil Gupta would like to ask question. Good morning, Rotarian Sunil Gupta. It's too early in San Jose. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good. Now after 7 a.m. So,
Yeah.
meeting starts here at 6:30 in the morning on Sunday mornings. And it's delightful for me. I learned so much. Thank you so much for a wonderful talk, Rotarian Prashant Surana. I'm actually a kidney recipient, an organ kidney recipient survivor for the last 13 years.
Okay.
And my eldest brother is a doctor. I have to tell you, medicine, the education does not really quite educate our doctors about nutrition a lot. So I really enjoyed your talk today, learned a lot. My question is to you in terms of, we talked about, what the effects of different kinds of foods do to your glycemic levels and all. This conversation, I mean, diet and nutrition is a $4 trillion industry in the world. People are making tons of money in terms of supplements. What, according to you and your research and your wisdom, is the ideal diet for us as, say, people of Indian origin? Because, genotype also matters a lot. For generations, we've been eating something. So, a couple of questions I'm going to ask you. So one question is, what is the ideal diet? People say Mediterranean diet is the best. So I'd like to hear from you what you think is the ideal diet, and maybe you can share some personal things that you do in your daily routine. And second question, second question is really related to the ancient grains that people have been promoting, mainly millets. right, over say things like rice and other things. So that's the kind of conversation I want to have if you have the time.
Sure. So that's a very good question, Mr. Gupta. What happens is that whatever traditionally has been consumed in your community by your ancestors is a good diet, because if your community has thrived and multiplied in population, means your ancestors were doing something good. Means your ancestors, what their ancestors were doing was right. So if India has such a huge population, means our ancestors were doing something right in terms of nutrition. So our Indian food is very good. The only issue is that we don't have adequate protein when we have a vegetarian diet. So all we need to do is to add some protein to the Indian vegetarian food, and it becomes good enough. We don't need to change much about that. Another issue is that how to replace all these refined carbohydrates, which go directly into your blood. So, like if you have atta flour, wheat flour, you can add some of these high fiber grains like millets to your atta and make it more fiber rich, so it becomes slower to digest and becomes healthier. To that extent, all these new grains that are coming in, millets and all this, their advantage is that they are very high fiber content and they can slow down the digestion. To that extent, they are healthier. And I would not recommend completely replacing our conventional grains with these, because our body is used to those grains, and wheat has more protein than these grains. So what I would recommend is not complete replacement, but mixing. We can mix some amount of these with our existing diet, and it will become complete. And especially for vegetarian diet, everything is fine with Indian diet. Only thing is we have to increase our protein content.
Any other question from your side, Dr. Rotary and Sunil Gupta?
Yeah, no, I just would like to know what you personally eat.
Okay,
if you can.
okay. What I do? Yeah, so I consume my traditional Indian food. I take whey protein as a protein supplement, and in the wheat flour we add some other grains like millets, etc., to increase the fiber content. That's the only variation I do in my own diet. I try to consume more of vegetables, more of pulses, less of rice and chapatis, so that I get more vegetables and protein and less of carbohydrates. So that's just a small variation I've done. Otherwise, I take a normal routine diet. That's all.
But Rotarian Prashant, you are from Rajasthan.
Yes.
And there people are eating dal batis and all those things, lots of sweets, etc. Do you think they are healthy the things to eat, the dal bati, churma, laddu, etc.?
See, the thing about dal bati is that it is just wheat and dal, what you are consuming. Batis are the same as chapatis, if you ask me. Only the method of preparation is different. So it's the same substance. So it's not about that it's something different, very different. Only in the ancient times, people used to add a lot of ghee to those batis, because in those days they were doing a lot of physical labor. They could handle those kind of calories. Today we cannot handle those kind of calories. So we should go easy on those things. And everything is fine as long as you consume in small portions. So portion control is the main thing. Type of food is not. Whether you consume dal bati or roti or rice, if you can control your portion size and control the total calories you consume in 24 hours, everything is fine.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, Rotary Ritika Gupta.
Actually, Dr. Lakshmi also had a question. She wanted to ask something.
Yeah, Dr. Lakshmi Goyal.
Yeah, she's right there.
Yes, thank you. Again, a two-part question. So the first question is about these so-called superfoods. There's a lot of marketing around chia seeds and kale and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on that? And the second is if you have any specific suggestions for supplements for muscle soreness. So this is a follow-up to Rotarian Ritika Gupta's question on muscle soreness. Are there any natural foods that help with that?
Okay, first part is the superfoods. So superfoods are just marketing. There is no such thing as a superfood. There is no magical foods. They will not do any magic. Okay, they may have some extra minerals and proteins, etc. Some certain foods. But other than that, the only ingredients that we have in any food is protein, carbohydrates, fats, certain vitamins, and etc. So there is no such thing as a superfood. So it cannot do any magic or any miracle, whether it's chia seed or any other seeds. Certain foods like your what do you call? They have omega-3 fatty acids like I mean, in vegetarian food, we don't have many such foods, but so to that, we don't get enough of those omega-3 fatty acids in our routine diets. So adding those foods can be beneficial. They can help you reduce inflammation in your body, and to that extent, they are useful. But labeling them as superfoods is superfluous. Actually, there is no such thing. So I don't believe in those kind of claims. When there is no scientific basis behind those claims, most of these are just marketing. Second question is soreness. Muscle soreness happens because your body is trying to repair the muscles which you have used for exercise. Because every exercise, especially strength training, basically creates microscopic ruptures in the muscles. And when the body tries to repair that muscle, it makes it stronger than before. And that's how you gain muscle mass. So this soreness is the feeling that you get because the body is trying to repair those muscles. The best way is to consume enough protein so that body can repair them quickly. Another important thing is to have enough sleep, because it's during sleep that the body repairs your damaged tissues. So if you're not getting enough sleep, like at least 7 hours per day, if you're not sleeping, you will have extended soreness because your body is not getting the time to repair those tissues, even if you have enough protein. So protein and sleep, these are the only two medicines for muscle soreness after exercise. There is no third thing.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. Any other question? No. Thank you very much. I think Rotarian Deepan Shah would like to ask a question. I will tell you, Rotarian Prashant Surana, today we have Rotarian Dr. Lakshmi Goel from Morocco, Rotarian Sunil Gupta from San Jose, San Francisco, and Rotarian Deepan Shah. He is based in New Jersey, and they all are our members. And Rotarian Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran is on a visit to roster to his son, although he stays in India, 6 months here and 6 months there. So, and we have Pan India because we had a discussion about our club. So I just wanted to inform that our club is having members from all across the world.
Yours is a truly international club.
Yes, that's why the name is Rotary Club of Organ Donation.
Right.
Yes, Rotarian Deepan Shah, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Also, our in transition secretary Ritika Gupta. It was very wonderful presentation.
No, Rotarian Ritika Gupta is no more secretary. Now she's the vice president. She's acting today because our secretary's daughter is going to have a marriage in the next month. So he's busy. That's why. Yes, please go ahead.
No, we do appreciate Ritika's always step in and helping us out. So, but anyway, Mr. Prashant Surana, it was very wonderful, thorough, detailed presentation. And I'm also in healthcare industry. My education background is also from microbiology to pharmacy to medical technology to board certified CTBS. So my question is here. I'm talking to the here people, colleagues, friends, American people, basically all of them. And what they do sometimes doesn't make sense for me, but they take chlorophyll powder, they bring the chlorophyll liquid, and they drink every day, twice a day. Now, what I understand, chlorophyll we get from all greens, right? Yes. So what your take on it?
There is no scientific basis for consuming a lot of chlorophyll. It's not because the benefit we get from green vegetables is not because of their chlorophyll content, because our body cannot use chlorophyll. The benefit we get from vegetables is because of their fiber content. Because those fibers, they promote gut bacteria, they slow down digestion, they increase the volume of our feces, so prevent constipation. So these are the benefits that come from that fiber content of the vegetables, not from the chlorophyll content. So it's just a fad, I would say. There is no scientific basis for that.
Wonderful, very good. So now I have something learned. I can share with the folks also. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Rotarian Deepan Shah. Yeah, now the last question we have to take because the time is already over. Yes, okay, Rotarian Dr. Saran.
Just one quick question, and that is, I have noticed that in our villages, the farmers use two techniques for growing their food. What they grow for home consumption, they only use farmyard manure, dung manure. But what they grow for the market, they use chemical fertilizer to grow more yield. Which one is more healthy to eat?
Organic is definitely more healthy because the organically grown foods and vegetables, they are rich in nutrients. Whereas synthetically grown with synthetic fertilizers and pesticides, they grow bigger in size, but they are lower in nutrients. So if you see a lot of fruits, we use guava. If you compare guava or local guava and the imported guava which is coming from other countries. The guava is bigger, but it does not have the same taste, the same texture, and their nutrient content is also lower because they are just trying to grow it in size, but they are not as nutritionally rich. So this is a problem we all are facing, because in order to increase productivity of agriculture, they are using a lot of synthetic methods, which is making food bigger and more beautiful to look at, but actually the nutrition content is going down.
Okay.
It's a problem
Thank you
for all
very
of us.
much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, before I will hand over back to Rotarian Ritika Gupta, Rotarian Prashant, my straight question to you is, you being a managing director of a very known multinational company in the pharmaceuticals, what inspired you to write this book on diet and exercise, and the other book is on Why Buddha Left Home? These two books are both, it's not in a lean, you are writing.
Yeah, one is about the mind and the other is about the body.
Yeah. Okay.
So what is about the mind is all kinds of questions that we human beings get in our minds as we grow. And to address those questions, I written the first book. Second book is when I saw all around me a lot of discussion being made about body and diet and exercise on social media and etc. all the other platforms, because in last 10 years social media exploded so much, and all kinds of wrong claims, wrong information being fed to people all around. So that was the main trigger why I wrote this book, because there are a lot of misconceptions, a lot of wrong information being given around. Okay. And people just believe it, either they believe because of their conventional wisdom, or because somebody has told them something, because something which is read on WhatsApp is considered authentic. Well, WhatsApp is not authentic source of information. Okay. It's just something being forwarded to you by somebody.
What we have done, we called one physiotherapist 2 or 3 meetings before, because we found that the gym trainers are all quacks, generally, not all, mainly they are quacks because they are not trained properly. So who else can tell us the exercise, the right way of exercise? I think the physiotherapists are only trained person in India or anywhere in the world who can tell you the correct exercise which has to be done for your body, as per your body requirement. Do you agree with that?
See, the problem with is that the physiotherapist will only tell you some aspects of it. The dietitian will only tell you some aspects of it. The doctor will only tell you some aspects. How to synthesize all this? Because nobody is having the complete picture. And that was the purpose of writing this book, to get a complete picture.
No, that is fine. You have written a book.
So physiotherapists are not trained in exercise. They are trained in correcting the problems with the musculoskeletal system, bones and muscles. So they are not trained in exercise. Only somebody who is trained, like a sports physician, a sports orthopedician, who is trained in exercise, they can. So the best source is that find an authentic source, an authentic website. A lot of websites are there which give authentic information on individual subjects. Like on exercise also, you will find some authentic website. I don't know now, but there used to be one exrx.net. It was an official, authentic website on
Rotarian Prashant, that is fine, but the problem is that everybody's body's composition is different. And as you mentioned about the sports orthopedics or orthopedic surgeons, they always guide after anything. They send you to the physiotherapist only. Ultimately, the physiotherapist has to take a call what your body requires, and accordingly they suggest the things. Anyway, thank you very much.
No, yes, of course, you can always consult a physiotherapist to find out what about if you are asking about a certain specific questions about doing a certain kind of exercise. You can always consult a physiotherapist for that, because at least they will be able to guide you that, okay, is this exercise good for you or not? So to that extent, you can definitely consult a physiotherapist.
Okay, thank you very much. Over to you, Rotarian Ritika Gupta.
Yes, thank you very much. While it's overtime already, but I am being greedy, and there's one little question that I want to ask before I myself give out the vote of thanks. So I wanted to ask you, what is your take on any kind of protein alternate? So I did try having whey protein, but I didn't quite like the flavor of it. I think it's sweet, which I don't quite appreciate as a flavor.
You must have bought a flavored and sweetened kind of whey protein. You search for unflavored, unsweetened whey protein. You will find it on Amazon.
Okay.
Take unflavored, unsweetened whey protein, add some fruits, some milk, make a milkshake, and I think anybody will like it because it is totally bland.
Okay, okay. And my question actually was that what is your take on the protein alternate from the diet in way of sattu powder or something like that, like having 2 scoops of like sattu powder and just drinking it as a drink
See,
instead?
all this sattu and all, everything, this comes from chana pulses.
Right.
So all the pulses are about 20%, 22% protein,
Hmm.
right? So you will have to consume a large quantity of it actually to get that kind of protein, which you get from whey protein. Whey protein is 80-90% protein.
All
Whereas
right.
all these pulses, sattu, etc.,
Okay,
they have maximum 20-25% protein.
now before that,
Even
my question is, what about tofu?
tofu also, sir. Tofu and paneer are in the same league. They have a high protein. Again, it is again 25-30% protein, not more than that. Another issue with tofu is that tofu comes from soya bean. Okay, and soya bean protein, soya bean also has constituents which go into your body and act like estrogen, female hormone. So men should consume soya bean and tofu in some moderation, because otherwise it can cause hormonal imbalance in the body if you consume too much of it. A lot of people start consuming soya milk instead of traditional milk, and this soya milk has a lot of these estrogen-like effect on the male body. For female, it is okay. So they start having other kinds of problems. So use all these things in moderation. I would say mix and match a lot of different kinds of foods rather than relying on a single kind of food.
Okay, thank you very much. Ritika.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And now we are finally at the last leg of the meeting, which we've extended for over 20 minutes for the first time ever. So thank you very much, Rotarian Prashant Surana. It was indeed a very, very enlightening and an eye-opening session that we had with you. And I'm sure everyone took back so many things that have left them inquisitive for more. So we will definitely keep coming back to you, and we would love to have the presentation from you so that
Sure.
we can keep reminding us of everything that you've taught us today. Thank you very much. It was very enlightening. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me here. And it was a really great experience to interact with you and to be with you on this forum today. Wish you all the best, good health, happiness. All the best to you, Lalji, for your cause for organ donation. Thank you.